This week we have a unique forum going on where we have invited all band reps and First Nations reps across Anishinaabe Nation territory, Treaty 5 and Treaty 9. The reason for this gathering is to really bring all those various band rep, First Nations rep together to really identify some of the challenges and some of the successes in terms of developing their own supportive band rep programs.
This particular gathering, it's long overdue. Now we have reached that point where those conversations, those discussions, those resources and services, including changing the policies within the federal and provincial level, where we recognize and where we're advocating for that change to ensure that our children are protected.
Our experience is very diverse. Our situation is very unique and requires unique solutions. There's that access issues, and we continue to negotiate at the highest level to ensure that a nation-to-nation discussion is happening and that these communities are using community-based solutions to overcome these challenges.
This is an important gathering, and we feel it's important because this is an opportunity for our communities to come together and hear and learn from each other what other communities are doing and working towards that same vision that we all have, which is to make sure that all our children are healthy and happy, and that we all work together to making that happen.
What I see in this gathering is gathering information, sharing information with the communities in terms of where we want to go with child welfare and how it's going to look.
It's not often that you can gather everybody with specific areas that people focus on their roles to come together to discuss really important issues for the children, youth, and families, community members.
It gives an opportunity for the community-based workers to begin connecting with each other, to share their information and knowledge, and also for them to begin thinking about this is not just a job, it's about children and families that they're here for.
We have community band reps that are at all different levels. It's good to hear from communities about their successes, about their struggles, because as a collective, that's when you get problem solving. That's when you come up with solutions.
By working together and helping each other is something that our elders always talk about. And the word that they use most often is mabo, meaning together. Not only in our communities or surrounding communities, but even in Manitoba, Ontario, even in Canada.
I think it's really interesting for so many band reps to come together and find out that even though the solutions to the problems might be different for each community, we still struggle with all the same things. So it's really nice to be able to network with people from other communities, different situations, and then come up with something different than we might have thought of.
All of those people that are out in that conference floor there, they have their own expertise. They have their own teachings that were transferred to them by their elders, and then they're all bring it together in one setting. Me coming here to this conference, I'm learning about what other communities are doing. Does it comply with our child care system? How do I improve mine? Given our cultural and traditional traits, how do we improve that? That's why I'm here. And my staff are here doing the same thing. They're sharing information, and then they're sharing their experience and their information with other communities. So everybody has that best possible information to advance their community interests, all in the name of protecting children and providing a good life for those children.
There will always be unique elements in every community. We've always understood that from one community to another community, it's never the same. And we have to acknowledge the band rep programming to have certain key unique elements specific to that community. If we make it totally everything on general framework for everybody, then it will become static very soon. And people will say, well, this doesn't work for us. And I think one of the greatest disservice we would do is to be able to say, here's the general framework, do it this way. it's no different from what government has been doing to us.
Well, I think we always have to recognize the uniqueness of all our communities. That even though we may be in one treaty organization or treaty area, that our communities are unique and that we have our own ways of doing things. But I think there's also room to be bold, be courageous, and be brave, and don't feel like you have to stay within the box that we've been confined to for so long, that you have this opportunity to do all these great things for your children.
I know sometimes working with our children, youth, and families across NAN is a thankless job, but still, we have to celebrate all those champions at the community level who are making a difference, who are going above and beyond. And it's those individuals across our First Nation communities that will make that change and will bring change for the betterment of our children, youth, and families.
I have never seen the signs as hopeful as they are now. It is understood that the change must be Indigenous-led, that children come first, and the colonial way of thinking is being rejected. Now, having said that, how does that play out on the ground? Well, guess what? It's the band reps, first point of contact. There's really an empty canvas in terms of their functions, and there's a potential here to start having band reps involved much more at the preventive level.
What I've heard from the band rep from the first day, they said they were gonna try to keep families together. If I had that opportunity, maybe I would have been with my family.
What makes a 12-year-old take their own life? That's what we need to focus on, is bringing life back to our children, bringing that hope and that light at the end of the tunnel.
Life can be very hard, but one spark of hope can change a person's life. And that's that hope that I hope to bring and encourage other people to bring that kind of hope, and especially in being a leader.
It's more or less, rather than giving them a hand out, basically giving them a hand up in terms of supporting families and getting together and keeping them together, and really building that resiliency as well. That resiliency and that hope to overcome many of the challenges facing many of our communities across the Anishinaabe Nation.
I believe that whatever we make today, our grandchildren are going to live it, because they're going to carry it. And I want to make sure that I develop something for my grandchild.
The work that we do is for our children. Sometimes we get caught up in, just numbers and statistics and, the data, but it's, at the end, it's our kids. And we have this opportunity now to create our own systems so that our kids can be healthy and happy and grow to be old, and they can graduate high school, that they can in turn look after their own children and their grandchildren.
And looking forward to working with new band rep programs sprouting up across Anishinaabe Nation.